Joined the service in 1993. Lived my childhood dream. It's pretty much all I wanted to do was be an infantry guy. For some reason, I thought that would be fun. I didn't realize they'd give me a canvas tent and canteens. It didn't seem fun anymore. Anyway, I served 19 years, 8 months, 17 days. I was deployed in 2006 to Baghdad, Iraq, 2005, 2006. And I was a team leader for a personal security detail. I bodyguarded everybody from senators to one of your presidents. And it was pretty awesome. What I didn't realize is when I got lost. So I came home and I went to my last duty station in 2006, Fort Sill, Oklahoma, where we trained troops sent them to Afghanistan for First Army. And, I came home to a society who didn't understand me, and I don't think I understood it. So I just medicated with a lot of alcohol and seclusion. That was about the best way I knew how to do it. I would show up for work in the morning. Most of the time I was still drunk. So they decided to med board me out in 2008. So I came home and to the guard, and I really didn't know what I was going to do. I mean, my whole personality was to be a grunt. So I retired in 2012. I met my lovely wife in 2011. What a blessing. So my mother-in-law asked me if I wanted to go to lunch, and of course, the son-in-law, I'm always going to go to lunch with my mother-in-law because she bought, hey, I didn't have to pay for it. So we went to lunch, and she was telling me about this program that she had seen on TV with horses and veterans. And I was like, whoa, okay. As a kid, I had grown up around horses. I would never tell you that they would have an impact on my life other than I loved them when I was a kid. So I went to the program in 2013 after contacting them in Saratoga Springs. And I remember sitting in the airport, I was like, man, I just want to go home. This program is not going to do anything for me. What is a horse going to do? I was clueless. So I got there, and on the 18th of March, and so on the 19th, we went out to the farm, and they went through their little spiel and what we were supposed to do, and we practiced and had to have partners, and it was quite entertaining, actually. But then we met the horses. This was the best part. So I met Butter. I wish I had a picture of him. I have a DVD of my connection, and I watch it all the time at home. I watched it before I came here. So we go in the round pen, and it's like everybody just kind of vanishes. Just you and the horse. So we did our thing. I orientated him to the round pen and then kicked him loose. The idea is that you're kicking him out of the herd. So we did our laps around the round pen, and I just did what they told me to do. In the end, the idea is You turn your shoulder to the horse, and if he wants to accept you, he comes up to your shoulder. So I did it. I turned my shoulder to him, and he approached. I was like, wow. You walk him in a figure eight when he accepts you. Then pretty much just stood there with him and cried. I had no idea what had gone on. What I had done had dumped a bunch of war baggage right there in the center of that pen, and that horse had trotted it into the dirt. And I did not know it. He saved my life that day. Because if it hadn't worked, I probably would have went home and committed suicide. And that's a fact. It doesn't cure PTSD. And I'm not going to stand here and tell you that I'm cured. I have my days. We all do. But there's not a day that I do not think about that horse. I just love him. It's a very spiritual connection. I was accepted again. Somebody liked me. It was a horse. Couldn't talk to me. Couldn't do any of that. He just accepted me. I was like, wow, my own society didn't want to do that. They don't even understand me. You know? So it took about a year when I got home to start seeing the subtle changes, the anger, the anxiety, the seclusion, the not wanting to even go out my front door. And it is amazing at how he changed my life. You know, I wish there was more aftercare with this program, because I would go back in a heartbeat. And I have wanted to ever since I left. I would go back and be in the round pen with Butter once a week if I could, because it worked. It worked for me. Just average Joe, trying to figure out who he was, what he was going to do. You know, when I went back to do the documentary, I met Stacy. I was fortunate enough to go back out to the farm and see Butter. I thought, this horse is not going to remember me. I'm just going to be some guy. It was like we had never separated. I walked up to him, he walked up to me, we greeted, and that horse followed me around. I literally took my phone out, hugged him, and took a selfie. Now, who does that? He loved it. So I thought it was cool. I cried again because he remembered me. That connection was there. And it made an impact in my life. One that's very hard for me to truly explain to you at how important this connection was. Not just to me, but the veterans who've gone before me. Program works. The horses work. You know, they're warriors. I got to go to Saratoga Springs Racehorse, and I was back in the paddock. And I was watching them bring out the horses. And I really hadn't thought much about it. I was just having a good time. Well, I was standing there, and I watched them tie the horse to the tree. And I thought, holy cow. They started getting him ready, getting him prepped. I'm like, that's a warrior. That is exactly what we did in Iraq. We got our gear. We got our weapons. We went out to the parking lot. We got our vehicles ready. Stuck our headphones in our ears, and we listened to crazy music that get us all amped up. But we were getting our gear on to run a race. Our race was for our lives. His race is against another horse running as hard as he could to win. We run as hard as we could to win. That is the most profound impact that I've ever had with this experience. I had never put that together. I never thought about it, of what, if there was any kind of correlation between what I had spent my life doing and what these horses spend their life doing, running the race, giving everything they got. That's what we did. We give you everything we got. Every time we went outside the wire, we gave you everything we had. We didn't care what it took. We were there to win. So I went home. One of the craziest things, I fell asleep on the plane. On the way out there, I was wide awake. I was like, I know none of these people, and I'm going to stay alert. I fell asleep. I was like, how does that happen? My anxiety was low. I was free. I was truly free. You know, a lot of people have gotten me here in my life. But I owe a horse for it. A horse. Not a human. A horse. That seems crazy when you think about it. But that horse gave me my life back. He gave me a reason to live, and he gave me a new perspective on life. I did not even know it. So about a year, I was just like, wow, things are changing. What is going on? And I just can't explain it. But enough of me changed to realize that I needed to give back. But I didn't know how. I couldn't serve anymore. I'd been medically retired in 2012. So I was like, what am I going to do? So I went back to school. And I'm currently in my last semester. I'm working, in December I'll graduate with a bachelor's degree of science in counseling with an emphasis on addiction. That's how I can give back. My target group is veterans and teenagers. That's who I want to work with. But obviously in counseling, you can't be picky. So everybody that comes across my path, I try to give them everything I got to let them know that they can be free. It doesn't matter if you went to war. It just doesn't matter. Trauma is trauma. You can get into a program like this, aftercare, horses, dogs, I don't care. It's going to make an impact in your life if you give it a chance, okay? My hope today is that I can make an impact on people's lives, and a positive one. You know, I spent my career wanting my family to be free, to not worry about anything, and that's what drove me. It was a horse named Butter that provided me with my own freedom. A horse. It's pretty amazing. So I thank you for your time. I hope you got something out of it. I appreciate you taking your time to listen to me. Okay? So thank you very much.